Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 13th DSFTWA Invitational Open. We are here in the round of 4 winners bracket between teams, and of course I forgot the names. So Noah will here assist my lack of knowledge and tell us the team names.
Okay, you're putting me on the spot here as well, but luckily I do have the team names right here. We have Pyjama Warriors against Save the Last Dance for Us. So Save the Last Dance for Us is the
Is
team.
Kachar?
Yep, it is definitely Kachar, Magoo, and Shadowsonic up against Pyjama Warriors, which is B, Euweb, and Joe. Yes. Okay, so while we have this going on, can you share the stream link?
Yes, I'm going to, and you can inform our viewers that both Euweb and Kachar are going tier 2.
Yes, we can see over here at the top left of the screen that we have Euweb and Kachar going T2. So both middle lanes are going to go T2, and we'll see how that works out. Kind of interested to see what's going to happen there, because if both go libs, it's kind of weird. But are they going to go ravens? Like, what are they going to do with that T2? And we're going to find out.
Oh, you did post the streams.
I posted in one chat only, I believe, so we need to post it in GDSL as well.
Yeah. Just doing it now. Thunder asks if we need help, and I told him to come online.
Yeah, sure. Of course.
But he isn't.
Let me know also if you can hear the stream, Ned. Okay, so pure bio out of Magoo against B that has Marauder. So far the early game has been in favor of Pyjama Warriors. I'm kind of curious how are they gonna take this. It is triple Terran against triple Terran, and triple Terran, the TVT mirror match is kind of a pain, to be honest, to deal with. But let's see how this goes now. There is Reapers and a Liberator for Kachar, and Marines and Ravens for Euweb, and I think Euweb is actually gonna dominate this because the Liberator is not really all that great against the Ravens, and while there is Reapers for the Marines, like, I don't think the Liberator is going to contribute that much, because the Raven can just Interference Matrix and then throw 2 turrets, and the Liberator is kind of useless. And we kind of see that post-patch, right? The Raven got nerfed, but I still think the Raven has it still has its use case, right? It's not like it's completely dead. Sure, the turret is a lot more garbage than before, but Interference Matrix is still pretty good in the early game.
Well, from what I got a feeling from these early tests of the patch, of course the Ravens, the turrets still do a lot of damage, so if your opponent is going a build that doesn't include units that can kill the turrets, so if somebody opens Liberators, the Ravens will still kill the Liberators, so it's something of a rock, paper, scissors situation now, with the Liberators being favored versus Bio being favored versus Ravens, and Ravens being favored versus Liberators. And then, so usually the players opt to open one of those lanes, and then it just gets a completely confusing chaos where everybody's getting a bit of Bio, some Ravens, some Libs, and yeah, this patch really threw the TVT into a cauldron.
Yeah, TVT does seem to be in a very messy spot right now.
But we can see a strong advantage here for the top team, and B is here relentless with a huge Terran army. This is actually...
But the thing is, it like, Euweb countered what Kachar was doing, because Kachar went like Reaper Lib, expecting that Euweb was gonna go Marines. But then Euweb kind of did Marines, but he also added the 2 Ravens, which Interference Matrix the Lib and got a lot of advantage. And then he added the Liberator. And that Liberator is really good against what Kachar is doing now, because Kachar is like, okay, I need Marines to deal with the Raven turrets and Ravens. But then Euweb answers with his own Liberator. So since Kachar has no Ravens, it's kind of being a struggle for them right now, where you can see that there's so much surviving right now for the top team.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. So now they're trying to counter each other. So Euweb, you said exploited the Liberator opening from Kachar, but then he added Liberator of his own because Kachar was getting Marines, so it's really a crazy matchup, and yeah, for sure we'll need some time to settle the meta and figure things out. But yeah, what would you say we're seeing now more and more triple Terran games?
Awful.
And
I hate it.
Yeah,
I'm
actually not a big fan of it at all. So, but what would you say are the strengths and weaknesses of the setup?
Well, that is still to be determined, right? Like, I don't think the meta
Thunder is here, man.
I don't think the meta is formed yet, so I think it's still developing. It's an ongoing process, especially with the way this game is going right now. Like, you can see that even though Kachar had a plan, it's being countered really hard by what the top team is doing. So I'm really curious to see, like, this is an ongoing new meta thing, and I think we're gonna get a lot of it this match. It seems like Pyjama Warriors were really prepared for this match. I'm really interested to see how this game develops. Hey Thunderhorse, what's up? Thanks
hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Somebody got up. You are not awake for very long.
No.
Good morning, man.
Yeah, thanks.
But I think we're kind of seeing what the game develop a little bit here. The Kachar is, we can see what his mindset is at. He's just adding more Liberators, and he's trying to answer Euweb's unit with just Liberators and trying to stack them on the opposite side of where Euweb was. But it's not working so far. Like, I think the counter from the top team has been really excellent so far.
Yeah, Thunder, do you have some thoughts on the triple Terran and the counters to triple Terran? I mean, I can tell you what I thought. So, triple Terran, if you face the composition and you found yourself in a situation where you're losing, you're in a really tough spot, because you're trying to stack versus triple Terran. It's much harder than where there's a Zerg or Protoss involved, and yeah, so the matches that I was casting and seeing of the matchup, I'd say that if the team who was not playing triple Terran got the early advantage and maintained the lead, that was the key to their victory, because often when triple Terran gets rolling, and if they get a comeback on you, it's really hard.
Yeah, so I'm not in the game, but so it sounds like one team's triple Terran, one is
I think
something
you
else?
can join.
No,
I think you can.
Both sides are triple Terran.
Oh, nice.
And we're
But
just seeing
Nova,
the yes, go ahead.
Can he join? Can he join your stream?
What do you mean?
Can he join the stream on Discord?
Oh, I see. Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, of course. I think I can pull it off. Let me see. I know what you mean.
Okay, Thunder.
Thunder, let me see. Let me know if you can see it.
You see in the chat room you can enable watch stream, so then you can watch the game and comment with us.
Okay, yeah, I can see it now. Thanks.
Okay.
That's a great point, Nedved. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
I just want to comment to you real quick on the fact that Terran is kind of triple Terran versus triple Terran is being kind of funny this game. You can see that both first lane and third lane, they're just both massing bio. So they're like, well, they're both putting all their faith in the middle lane, because bio only works if you're pushing. So you really need your teammate to push in order for bio to work. And So both first lane and third lane are putting their full confidence in the middle lane. So that's Kachar and Euweb, and so far Euweb is getting the better side of this engagement.
Yeah, but what I was saying that it's hard to come back versus triple Terran, it also goes when you're facing triple Terran. So that's why I'm kind of not really excited about this particular matchup with 6 Terrans, because it did seem to, even in the GDSL finals and in some games here, which I've casted and seen, they do tend to be mostly one-way affairs. So which teams manages to get the advantage? It's just Terra naturally does so much damage. It makes stacking harder.
I mean, you can look at what Euweb is doing, right? Like Euweb has a lot of Vikings, he has Ravens as well, so he's making it very hard for Kachar to stack. And now they're putting all their faith on Kachar to stack, and he's trying really hard. Like he had a battle cruiser, which is really good, but you can see that the battle cruiser got anti-armored missiled. So like, is it gonna be enough? I don't know. I don't think so. That's way too many Vikings, too many Marines, Ravens. Like
Euweb
has
Marines,
the perfect cleanup army.
And Ravens, and even they do kind of stack here, but now look at the amount of damage that Euweb is going to do. The anti-armor missiles come down on the bio, the Liberators are all taken down, and so that's what I was saying. Even Terran does so much damage, it's incredibly hard to come back and stack on the Terran, and if you're facing triple Terran, that's the only race you're facing. And yeah, and anti-armor, I think Imsax did have a point, so even though anti-armor is worse now, weaker after the patch, reduced from 3 to 2 reduction, it's still really strong. And in TVT, it's utterly devastating. You've all seen scenarios where we played and where the opponent manages to stack, but then I remember my games, I fire 3-4 anti-armor missiles, and then somebody's going behind me with full bio and just clears everything because the DPS is just so insane. I
mean, you can think about it like when you're playing Protoss, right, and you're against ranged units, you usually get 2 to 3 sentries because the sentry guardian shield is so strong, right, because it adds plus armor. And you can kind of think of the anti-armor as the same thing, where you kind of just need to get that upgrade boost, right? Like it basically makes so that your units have better upgrades than theirs, and that's so strong. It's when it's ranged DPS against like fast range DPS. Like it just makes all the difference in the world. You can see like when the anti-armor missile is there, the units just melt, and the difference is not like you have like 10 Marines left over. No, when you anti-armor missile, you're basically your whole army just melts theirs and walks forward. Like they all survive. It's really insane.
Designed for that kind of stuff with the units they have, with the bio and being the core of the Terran army, with paired with anti-armor, you can't think of a better scenario than pairing Reapers, Marines, and with the anti-armor. I mean, yeah, sure, it will be great with Hydras, but the anti-armor is really such a key part of the Terran gameplay.
Yeah,
and especially in stack and comeback denials, so being able, even if you don't do a lot of damage, being able to anti-armor the stack is gonna go a long way to holding it. Sorry, Joe, go on. Joe, my God, Thunder. Yeah. I was watching Joe on the battlefield. Yeah.
No, I was just going to point out how long those Vikings are occupying Kachar's Liberators after the next wave shows up. It's like his reinforcement wave just gets split and then taken out by the heavy bio, and then the rest just cleans up the libs. So it's going to be definitely really tough to stack here.
Even the BCs with their mighty, very high armor, right? Like, you usually get the BCs because they're very, very high armored. Like, they just die to Marines. That's how insane that even -2 armor is already enough for the Marines to clean the libs. To clean the BCs. And now the Vikings do their job at cleaning the libs, and just, like, Euweb has the perfect army he needs to completely destroy Kachar's wave every turn. Or at least split it and make it so that it's easy for Joe to clean his wave. And I think that's being very strong right now. it's kind of being hard because also the top team has had middle advantage for so long, and in TVT, where if you have middle advantage, you just get more of the same units. Like, you just have a higher unit count than they do, right? And so I think that's extremely strong right now. Like, you can see it playing off. We're just having more beats less, right? Like, and I think that's what we're seeing now. And now B with the sorry, with the Thors.
But yeah, more beats less. But you also you see also they have a 2 gas advantage, which is always important. But now, given the fact that it's a mirror, it's even more important. And yeah, you can see just Euweb, despite the fact that the Liberators are kind of stacking, his army is basically designed to do a lot of damage. That's what Euweb is here. It's only DPS units, so Vikings, we see 7 Vikings, Liberators, Marines, so there's nothing durable there. It's just his mission is to prevent Kachar from stacking, and so far they haven't missed a beat. Bottom team just can't catch a break, and you're wondering, will there be maybe a GG?
I don't think there's really a lot of comeback potential for the bottom team. Like I've said before this on stream, right? Like, I think you have about 18 minutes to come back before it's like too late. Like, after that, it's almost unheard of coming back after 18 minutes. It's happened. It's not impossible, but it's very few and slim, far in between games, and we are kind of reaching that point. And it like, the problem is, like, the waves are getting split, so all the ground units are just walking forward to their devs.
Yeah.
And all the ranged units aren't even enough to clear Euweb. Like, Euweb is surviving 2 waves. Like, he clears the anti-air units of Kachar, and then he deals damage to the next wave. Like, that's how insane their advantage is right now.
Yeah, the 18-minute thing you said, I would not necessarily disagree, but I would just tweak it. It is around that time, but it's not down to the time most of the time. It's down to when do the key capital units which prevent you from stacking appear. So when the Thors come out and the Vipers and stuff, and like that 18th minute is kind of the last 18ish minute is kind of the last train you can catch before the Thor's numbers gets out of control, because you're not stacking Liberators if there's like 7 or 8 Thors trying to prevent you to doing so. And we do see Thors starting to come on the field. Joe has a Thor, and let's see, Joe has 4 Thors actually, and Rebornbee has 4 Thors. So that's, yep, we're approaching the 18th minute mark, and yes, they're going to hit a wall soon, and no matter what they do, nothing is going to be durable enough to withstand the barrage of these Bio-Thor armies crashing into the air mech of Kachar, desperately trying to salvage this game. I mean, you can beat Thors with Liberators, but it gets much harder if there's a lot of Marines in front of the Thors. So if you're playing air mech versus air mech and your opponent gets Thors and there's nothing on the ground to shield the Thors, you kind of get the same scenarios as when Thors are shooting carriers and there's nothing in the air to tank, and then they just prioritize them. So that's the same thing what happens to Liberators. They can kill Thors really fast, but we also see it paired with a lot of bio. Sorry, anti-armor, yeah. Yeah, but this was kind of decent for Magoo, but even you can see it's not gonna be even close here. So yeah, definitely, I think we're watching the final moments of this game. Not final moments, but definitely final minutes.
I mean, the other issue with Triple Terran, it's kind of hard to kill Triple Terran. They're not winning, but they die very slowly. So this game will probably take a little while before the game finishes, just because, like, the nature of Terran is just so slow to kill. Like once they get Thors, they get Libs, they just have high armored units, and they kind of deal a lot of damage, so they kill a lot of your wave. Like not enough survives to kill the Nexus, it feels like. And also like they have a lot of Libs, which also don't help at killing the Nexus. So killing a triple Terran, and also as a triple Terran, it kind of takes a while. I think we're gonna be here for a couple more minutes.
I think they're gonna give up.
I mean, there is no chance of coming back, that's for sure. Like, when it's this punishing, this one-sided, I don't think you can come back.
I think they're gonna try 1 or 2 Kachar waves and then they're gonna leave, because the Thor numbers here are getting to a number where Kachar, of course he knows that this is mission impossible. You see all the BCs are dead, the Thors haven't even been killed, they're gonna clear all these Liberators perhaps. No, they're gonna be stacked, but you see now Euweb, another massive wave coming here, and what's gonna stack here? There are 5 libs, but the Vikings are already shooting them down, and the bio has been all killed by Euweb, or some of them marched under, but there's
15 Liberators now. 15 Liberators. Euweb has 15 Liberators. And that is basically completely cleaning Kachar and the next wave and the next wave. Like the libs are still alive. Look at these, 11 kills on 15 Liberators. They all have such high numbers.
They have hundreds of kills. Yeah, this is just, they should GG here, but this may be game here. Yeah, they won't be able to stop the bio. So game number 1 goes to the top team. Congratulations. I like watching Marine Tank versus Marine Tank. I think it's like very micro intensive. But yeah, PvP, I agree. For me, TVZ has always been like the standout matchup in StarCraft for me, because we had so many great Terran and Zerg champions both in Brood War and in StarCraft 2. Even though I'm a massive MC fan, Protoss, but yeah, with Serral and Maru and Flash and Jaedong and Dark and Rogue and TY and Innovation and all, there were, I think we had more legends in the Terran and Zerg camp than the Protoss.
I think there's only like 1 or 2 real legends in Protoss that have been. Oh, maybe there's a couple, right? There's like Zest. There's like Hero. SOS and something.
Nah, you have to put the boss toss there, man. Well, I mean,
yeah,
we're gonna have problems.
Yeah, I guess there was also Parting, which was really good, but
yeah, Parting was really good. He was really good.
Stand out, I think, and the Zergs as well, right? Like, I think everyone knows Raynor and Zero, so
yeah. Parting
anyway.
was really. Parting was really fun. Yeah, because he was really abusive, and he liked figuring out abusive things and then perfecting them with micro, so he was really fun to watch. But yeah, we are here robbing the players of, their
I wanted to say real quick,
coverage.
Both teams have decided to stay exactly the same positions. So we get the players that they faced the previous game again. So it's gonna be another mirror match between Kachar and Euweb, Shadow and Joe, and another mirror match B against Magoo once again. And we can kind of see.
Difference.
Yeah, I would say yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yo, sorry, but I mean it's so important, because the big difference is no tier 2 from the bottom team, and Kachar's bio just got scanned. So maybe the top team can identify that and throw in a Banshee. And yeah, now. Still no tier 2 research, so let's see if the bottom team can pick up on this now.
Okay, but Euweb only has 3 libs with no armor. Kachar does have 4 Reapers. Yeah, he can't clear this.
Will the top team acknowledge there is no tier 2? Will they risk it? No, Euweb making more Liberators, and but yeah, Kachar has started tier 2 in the meanwhile and now has it 3/4 of the way done. So yeah, there was no way for them to know that early.
Yeah, I think Kachar is already going to go into Ravens. But he still needs to clear his wave this time. Actually, he gets the one Raven on time, so I'm very curious to see how this one Raven's gonna do. Looks like his team still has middle, so that's really good for them. But at the same time, Euweb did move his units.
Yeah. I think he's going to have a second siege here. Yes, he does, and this is now really good for him. Even a third siege on some libs. Let's see the siege now. Amazing play. And yeah, the Marines won't be able to clear this in time at all. And even the turret. At least 2 Liberators will survive here. Oh, all 4 libs survive.
Okay, yeah, there's no way that Shadow can clear this.
Yeah,
he has no Marines, nothing that shoots up. So the 4 libs are going to survive, and they're going to stack onto the next wave.
And we saw Joe take a gas, so I think they were kind of expecting this a little bit later stack here.
Okay, yeah, and this hurt wave of Magoo isn't gonna be enough. You can see that his units are so spread out. The Liberators are still alive, and now B is gonna be able to clear this no problem. And now we're approaching a really crucial wave. Kachar has to come back either this wave or the next one, I think, or the advantage is gonna be too hard because the cannon it took some damage. It's still alive, but the issue is I don't.
Kachar make a Liberator.
That's a very good point. I think a Raven might have been better.
Or maybe he expected some bio from Euweb, I don't know. But I think this is going to be another heavy stack here, yes. And Marauders will start going down here.
Okay, but Joe does have Marines, and Marauder Reaper beats Marine. The issue is, like, there's nothing to kill these libs. So they're going to survive. And I think that was a very crucial wave because now it's going to be even harder to come back. Like, once you start losing middle as a bio player, it starts getting harder and harder to clear the opponent's bio. Especially when it's like, I don't know. Like, the numbers are kind of messed up. I see both teams already adding Marines pretty early.
Let's see if we can see a game of Triple Terran versus Triple Terran where there is a comeback, because I don't think I have seen one yet.
Okay, and Kachar is adding even more libs, so he's kind of trying to make his libs survive and push the next wave, but Euweb already has Ravens, and the Ravens cleared all the libs from Kachar. Only one's gonna survive, and you count that against the 6 that are surviving from Euweb, the difference is huge.
For that to work, Shadow would have to have some Marines, but here, as Euweb's Liberators are stacking, they are just ruling the battle because there is absolutely nothing to answer. The shots from the air, the bolts killing the bio units. So much. Look at Magoo's army. Look at it. This may even be cannon here. And yes, it is going to be cannon. Magoo needs just a timely, not Magoo, Rebornbee needs just a timely transition to tier 2 and to prevent what Kachar is attempting to do here, but we see the Ravens in time here. Anti-armor missiles, the Liberators go to their deaths, so yeah, an interesting situation here. They are matrixed, and yeah, turrets come down and the Liberators are going to go down. B is going to kill this. No problem, and yeah, we're just watching more of the same here, guys.
Yeah, the top team just took advantage this time, and since they won that wave, like I said, they had to come back at like 1 or 2 waves after that, and the bottom team wasn't able to do it, so it looks very good right now for the top team. Kachar is still trying his best. He's trying to stack the Liberators. You can see that that last wave was really one that was very crucial, right? Like the wave where you switch and you try to catch your opponent off guard is really one of the waves where you want to come back. But Euweb with that one Marine just scouted, and then he's using his Mass Raven. So the turrets, they take a lot less damage, like they die a lot quicker. But if there's no bio to kill them, then the Ravens are still going to be really, really strong against the Liberators, and we can see that here.
Amazing play by Euweb, throwing the turrets down and sieging the back libs to take some of the Strangling Marauders, and he survives and stacks again on poor Magoo, who just can't catch a break, and now the full power of Joe's army, and Euweb's air is going to clear Magoo and open the air for Rebornbee to maybe siege the base.
This is a lot of damage on the Nexus. The health is...
Yeah, and this is full air from Kachar. Is this the game? I think it is. It's so many Marauders. This is GG. So 2-0. If the bottom team has Marines, then the impact of the Liberator stacks is much less. But then again, if you go Marines, then you're gonna lose to Reaper Marauder.
And the other thing I think is, you know, Webb, Joe, and B's team can reasonably expect Kachar is going to be the only one going Liberator, maybe. So I think they can kind of plan their strategy around that. And Nova, you're on mute, in case you didn't know.
I think he does.
Okay.
He'll be back in a minute. So in the production tab, we see both Euweb and Kachar going tier 2. So Kachar decided to open some Marines game 1, but now game 2, but now he's reverting to the plan from game 1. So he's going tier 2, and I think he will just try here to.
So yeah, I'm back. What did I miss?
So it's Kachar and Euweb are going tier 2 again, so the same scenario as game number 1. Game number 2, Kachar decided to open with some bio versus Euweb's air, and that didn't go well, so now they will revert back. Oh, we see Kachar. Did he cancel?
No, Kachar is still T2. He went T2. He's just going bio.
Oh, okay. And Euweb, will this be Liberators again? Oh, this is going to be very interesting now.
Well, he has a couple seconds to decide, so we're gonna see now what he chooses to build.
He's got scans. So Euweb scans Kachar. Kachar sells his and goes Liberators. Okay.
Oh, Euweb was gonna sell, but he's too late to sell now, so it's gonna be Lib versus Lib. And
yeah, but there's one Marine from Euweb and there's one Reaper from Kachar. So, but you see here, so Euweb's libs are more clumped up. I think Kachar can do more damage to him here.
Okay, but the upgrades do matter in these libs versus libs. Oh, and Euweb sieges! Oh, that siege was awful.
Oh my god, what? Oh no! Kachar sieges again. Oh. Okay.
I think Kachar played that to the best he could, somewhat. Like, he was able to clear.
I thought he would win more heavily after that siege from Euweb. It was like almost 2 free shots. But, yeah, and okay, Shadow taking the better of EskimoeJoe with...
Okay, but now we gotta see what the follow-up is, because it was so close for both sides that...
Did Magoo not spend?
Yeah, so Magoo there, I think, was really light on units that wave.
Yeah, he has 400 resources covering, and maybe that's planned so Kachar can get off a siege on the non-air shooting units of Rebornbee, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. But let's see the TVT now. Okay, nice turrets from Euweb. I think Euweb has an advantage here, guys.
No, Euweb lost all his libs. But
yeah, the libs went down. They got matrixed, and Kachar wisely conserved the energy, and 3 libs now. Oh, this is going to be a heavy victory for.
Yeah, Kachar with some really good micro. He literally out microed Euweb there with the Raven lib placement and the way the ability sequence went. it went completely in Kachar's favor, and now the top team is really screwed. I think we're gonna get a reverse of what happened game 1 and 2, where the Libs are surviving and screwing the bottom team up. Now it's the Libs from the bottom team screwing the top team up. Euweb switched sides, so he's now top, and Kachar is in the bottom, so this is gonna be an interesting engagement now.
Yeah, but is this what we wanna watch, guys? I mean...
Yeah, Lib Raven needs a nerf for sure.
Sorry?
Lib Raven should get nerfed.
I'm politely not going to leave the stream now because of our viewers. Okay, but we see a stack here from Euweb, and actually I think Shadow is in trouble here. Turrets go down by a bit of time, and yeah, contrary to what we were saying, we do have a restack here.
That was a really good unit placement from Euweb. He switched to the other side, and he kind of like stacked on the units that were surviving, so he was able to be catched up by Joe, who also immediately moved to that side. So some really good communication coming out from the top team. They realized that they lost that one, they moved immediately up, and that made Euweb survive that wave. And I think that's been very crucial right now, because the bottom team is kind of attempting the same thing, but instead of the Nexus, they're trying to stack on the cannon. And
let's spells here. Oh, the Matrix is Euweb. Are you going to use the Matrix? He decides not to, and he's going to again lose all of his Liberators. He's waiting for the anti-armor, I think. Is he gonna fire it? Yes. Let's see now this battle. How can anti-armor help EskimoeJoe win this one?
Yeah, but is it better than 4 libs? And yeah, the answer is definitely no, right? Like, anti-armor is not better than having 4 extra libs shooting at these low amounts of numbers of units. And so it is back to the bottom team.
The additional problem is Joe's Marines got Reaper bombed at the beginning of the battle, so the Liberators got a lot of free shots off, and 3 Liberators, they fire 4 times, and it's 12 bio units dead, so amazing anti-armor here from Kachar. Let's see if Euweb can make another siege here. Yes, he can. And now wisely does not use the turrets. We'll buy more time, and we could see another stack here, guys, honestly.
Yep.
Kachar is coming, but so is EskimoeJoe, and the turrets do go down. Let's see how this battle goes.
I think Kachar is rightly focusing on the libs, but just barely doesn't get them. Only 1 or 2 more attacks, all these libs would have gone down.
One attack away, so let's see the siege. Yeah, this is gonna be insanely hard for Shadow. He's gonna get taken out here for sure. And what an exciting game 3, guys. So
so that way, did Kachar hold off on his Raven energy? It looked like he didn't really use any Raven abilities that wave. I think he was maybe trying to die there. Because now I think he might get a restack here once the Bee's wave hits the cannon.
Yeah, but I think Bee's wave is big enough that if it hits the cannon, it might take it down. There's a lot of Marauders there. There's a lot of Marines.
And also Marines, and Marines can shoot air. I think this is a problem for the bottom team.
Yeah,
and
cannon barely has any HP left. It doesn't survive. It died pretty quickly, actually. Kachar wave is stacking, but I don't know. That's a lot of Ravens from Euweb. That's a lot of turrets. These libs are front, so the Ravens aren't gonna protect them.
Beautifully played by Euweb, but mistake there from Kachar. I think he, by making that last siege, the Ravens returned, and then they were not in time to catch the libs, and the Liberators went alone to face Euweb's wave and just got turreted, and then Euweb managed to kill the remainder of Kachar's army, and here we are. So let's see this battle now, but this should be very comfortable win for B, because she's full bio versus Magoo's 3 Ravens.
And I think, to be clear, B is a he, unless I'm mistaken.
Oh, B is a he?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
He's an Australian, kind of like a green.
I always think of bees as females, so maybe that's what threw me off. There was a little cartoon when we were kids here in Croatia. It was called Pčelica Maja. It means Maya the bee. And and she was a girl, so whenever I see bees, I'm sorry guys, I automatically assume the gender, which is a great sin, as we all know today. So yeah, sorry to all the non-female bees out there. I won't do it again. Guys, you think there is a potential for the bottom team? Have they kind of botched the lead and now are in a pit?
Yeah, the Kachar doesn't have a lot of chances more to come back because it seems like Euweb is ready for Kachar, right? Like he's been stopping this stack from Kachar every single time. We're now approaching the very high lib count for both sides and very high Raven, but now with less energy for the Ravens, it seems like Kachar is having to spend most of his energy, while Euweb, since he's his Ravens have more time to accumulate energy and he doesn't have to spend them. So he just gets more Raven abilities than Kachar does. Before, with the Raven upgrade, you can kind of both turret and interference matrix. But right now, it's not enough for Kachar to use both abilities. So he has to choose one or the other, and it's kind of being seen very strongly right now.
Yeah. Also, I would like to mention, do we see Euweb playing really well today and actually getting the better of Kachar? So I would just like to make a little shout out to the tourney organizer who I told him Euweb was really good and needed to be in pot 1. No, I'm just joking. It was really hard to balance, but yeah, he was. There were some really strong players in pot 2. Magoo didn't play; he's good, and Euweb also. So pairing Joe, who we know is a really strong player, the spin, the lucky spins they managed to score there and get a pairing with Euweb and EskimoeJoe, which is, as far as we can see, for now the winning combination, and then B complementing them beautifully with some strong bio play. Also, I was waiting to see when B is going to go tier 3 to start adding Thors to prevent Kachar from stacking, and as we're speaking now, tier 3 is 5 seconds away from completion for B.
Yeah, I think the team has been practicing. B, Joe, and Euweb, they've kind of get along. I think they've been playing all these days and getting a good chance to really get to know each other and feel each other, because right now it feels like they have a lot of synergy, right? Like it doesn't, like
Yeah.
it all seems like their plan is working together, and like they have a plan. It's not like they're playing separately or they're
Absolutely.
doing their own thing. They're all like, I don't know how to say it other than executing well in tandem.
You can really see the difference when you can feel it when the team is winging it and just playing it well, and when the team has a plan and they are converting it on the battlefield. It's really something that we all see. We can't put a finger on it, but you get the feeling, the synergy feeling you were talking about, and you can see they talked about how the games will be going, because in various parts of the game they seem to know exactly what they need to do, and so far they have been looking really strong here. Great anti-armor from B. First Thor out, focusing down the BC, and we are going to have the first battlecruiser casualty here. An amazing second anti-armor from B. That Raven got its worth this wave, and now the Vikings and Libs and Ravens from Euweb.
That energy difference, like it's so huge, because Shadow can only throw, like, he has to decide between using turrets twice or using you can see the huge difference when Euweb, like, he's able to use the turrets and he's able to also anti-armor missile the whole next wave, while Shadow can only use turrets twice. I think that's making also a huge difference, because the bottom team hasn't really had a chance to win the bio versus bio. But actually, is this gonna be enough?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to go Thors this early, but no, Big gets.
Yes, you do. He needs Thors to stop Kachar's air forming here. He has Marines, and now he needs nothing but Thors here. And
I mean, Thors are beautiful against air units. It's just bad when you like have bio versus bio. That's like when it feels like the Thors are really weak.
But I think Euweb will here do massive damage on the bio and get the anti-armor missiles off, and that's exactly what does happen. And now, but EskimoeJoe has so many Marines, and it's +2/+2 with anti-armor, with Ravens in the air, and the Marines just gonna DPS everything down here, man. There's not enough in the air to contest this amount of bio from Joe. And this is where I get the feeling that they are practicing. So even though the bottom team is stacking, Euweb does his damage, drops his anti-armors, and then it's just clean up job for Joe, whose Marines are just superior to...
Oh, but there's also a huge difference here. Magoo's army is actually 2-2, while B's 3-3. And having that 2 upgrade difference is huge. We can see that usually with the anti-armor missile makes a 2 upgrade difference. So already having it, just based on the fact that you're ahead for so long, is really crazy.
And because of that upgrade difference, we can't see the situation we sometimes see where it's a bio versus bio battle and one player decides to go tier 3 and gets Thors, and then the other player who is continuing barreling on bio units can take the Thor player kind of with his pants down during the tier 3 transition. But we see Magoo not being able to do that because he's also at the upgrade disadvantage here. So yeah, this is not going to be...
I think Euweb must be feeling really good, to be honest, right now, because if they manage to get a 3-0 over Kachar's team, they're gonna feel like they have a really good chance at winning the tourney, right? Because then that's gonna place them at the upper bracket finals, and I think this is like the one match they really needed to win against Kachar's team. And getting a 3-0 might be really strong showing for them.
Yes, exactly. And yeah, I kind of forgot what I wanted to say. I was something on the battlefield I saw, but yeah, it's really not looking likely that we're gonna see a comeback here. The 18th minute is approaching, but also the Thor numbers are rising, and we see both EskimoeJoe and Rebornbee starting Thors, 2 apiece. But what is also massive here is that the Joe's large marine force is now upgraded to 3-3. So with Euweb's anti-armors, yeah, good luck surviving versus that DPS onslaught.
Yeah, I mean, Joe's got 71 Marines, so even if Kachar stacks libs, it's like...
It's not gonna be enough.
Yeah, even if every lib is shooting 1 Marine, you know, we notice sometimes they'll both, maybe two libs will shoot 1 Marine. It's just, there's just not enough to clear them.
Yeah, and these Reapers are just kind of like stranding off. They go off by themselves and they just die first, so the Reapers are not really contributing that much to the fight anymore. And you kind of need that, like, you want Reapers because Joe is masked Marine, but then the Reapers just go front and die, so it's really uncomfortable for Shadow right now on what unit he wants to make. I do not want to be in the bottom team's position right now. It feels really bad.
No. And B is now up to 3 Thors, so those battle cruisers are not going to survive long enough to save him from Euweb, but also Euweb is up to 12 Vikings, and they have +2 attack and +3 armor, so, and even the Thors survive here, yeah.
Okay, so the libs are surviving, but look at the amount of Vikings from Euweb. He has 12 Vikings.
The anti-armor... It's just the same scenario that's been repeating all game. The anti-armor missiles go down, the Liberators do their damage to the bio, the Vikings do their damage to the air, and then Joe comes in with legions of bio with +3/+3, and then this happens. And then this is going on for like 10 minutes now, and it's just not gonna happen here.
It looked so promising for Kachar's team at the start of the game, right? Where they managed to push twice but somehow Euweb turned it around, and like we see the last two games where they just don't let the lead go. Like they just get middle and they keep it forever and ever. And once you have middle for so long, where the bio counts are just higher for your team, it feels like the advantage is way too strong right now.
Look at the amount of damage that B's Thors are doing, and the Terran army arrives here, sieging, killing the Marines. The anti-armors will go down, or will they?
There's nothing really protecting these libs from the Vikings of Euweb, so Euweb can just keep adding more Vikings, and the Liberators are, just by their nature, like they have such short range on anti-air that they just walk forward, and so the Vikings can just catch up to the libs first. And even though Shadow is reaching on time, he is stacking with Kachar, but the Ravens and Vikings of Shadowsonic are not protecting the Liberators of Kachar. So the libs from Kachar just die, and then the army gets split, and he just dies. So I think the top team had a plan, they executed, and now they're gonna see the fruits of their labor.
Exactly.
I think the top team is definitely winning this game.
5 Thors now. These BCs, yeah, they're teleporting back. They can't take the DPS barrage from the Thors, and now the Ravens getting taken down, using up all their energy just to survive the Thors. And now angry Euweb comes down. There will be no Matrix on Euweb's army this time. The sieges come down, and yeah, this is gonna be devastating here. The libs are down, the battlecruisers are soon gonna go down, and look at Joe's army, man. It's hard to see anything passing through this.
Yeah, only 2 libs survive, but now Joe has 6 Thors already out. So what are the 2 libs gonna do against 6 Thors?
It's not gonna do anything, and this game is coming to a familiar close. We've seen the same scenario, and when the Thors number rise, the curtain falls on the team that's behind. And
Yep, and we got 5 gas up top to no gas on bottom. It's just
oh yeah,
gonna get worse and worse.
yeah, when it rains it pours. It's just the Amados do go down, doing some nice damage, but the problem is the Liberators can't siege the Thors at the beginning, and then the Thors just got off like 50 shots on the Kachar's air. And yeah, look at Euweb's Viking count. It's just with 3-3. Shadow is adding Thors, but it's just not gonna help here at all. At the end of the day, he is facing 1 billion Marines. Yeah, not much to say in this game, guys. Honestly, it's been.
Yeah, it takes long to kill your opponent when you're on Lib Raven Viking. Like Lib Raven Viking, not very good at killing the Nexus.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why we see this taking so long. The Libs just keep sieging, so they can't really attack the Nexus. The Vikings are shooting Libs, so they're too busy as well. And the Ravens die before they even get there. So this game, I think, is gonna go for a while. We need to see.
But also, they've been a bit slacking on the anti-armor missiles. They have been really up on it the early game, and now we see Euweb. Okay, now he does anti-armor a portion of the army. So it's also prolonging the battle, but yeah, an air of inevitability is in the air, I think.
Joe is having such a good time. He's making banshees.
Yes. Yes, his army is like, his DPS is insane. It's Marine, Reaper, Thor, all with plus 3/3 upgrades. No, the Thors have zero armor for now. And he's choosing to do that.
Yeah, we're approaching the 25-minute mark.
Yeah, and like 6 gas to 0. I think if Kachar just, they're gonna take 3rd gas soon as well, I think. I think Kachar is just digesting the loss here, as sometimes casters tend to say, players do. So I think he knows, even from today's games and if not before, that just isn't gonna happen. See how long it takes for Shadow and Kachar stack to kill Euweb, and now Joe's army just... You know what this reminds me of? You know when if you watch Game of Thrones, when Stannis finally arrives at Winterfell, and after suffering through many tribulations, and he wants to siege the city, but then Ramsay comes out with his army and is just not even a contest in army size. So it's here like Shadow trying so hard to kill Euweb fast and to capitalize on the Kachar stack liberators, but then Joe's army arrives and we're like, not gonna work. You see the first siege here on the bio. I think Kachar needs to go further on and siege the Thors immediately.
Well, he is trying, but now you can see that Euweb already has 4 Thors by now. Only +1 attack on the Thors, but it is still 4 Thors. So the mass
Actually,
BC
I'm
thing
not
he's
sure
trying.
about the Thor here.
Yeah, but the mass BC here from Kachar is just it's already getting countered. So his he doesn't have anything more he can tech up. This is already his last technology.
Joe is adding Banshees, so he's adding Cloaked Banshees, the famous 26-minute mark Cloaked Banshees. We know it's a thing. No, actually he's doing it because of the heavy Viking count of Euweb, so he's banking on the... Even if something survives, the Ravens are going to be down, so the Banshees are going to have a field day here, but...
A lot of Marauders sieging on the Nexus, but it's not enough to even take down the shields. And so this game is gonna go a little bit longer. We're 26 minutes now, so we do have tier 4 for everyone, I believe. Okay, Shadowsonic is just researching it now, but I think everyone else already has tier 4. And so I think we're gonna see this slowly, bro, a little bit more faster now going for the top team's favor.
Yeah, this is 13th, man.
I mean,
and I gotta get ready for my game.
Magoo's adding tanks. It's not. I don't dislike tanks. It's just they're kind of awful against Euweb right now. So even if their tanks survive that long, it feels kind of bad. Like you do want some tanks against Thors, but desperation.
It's a Hail Mary.
Okay, that's a lot of Marauders that are gonna siege on the Nexus down, and now the Nexus is very close to dying. Looks like it's gonna survive one more wave, but it's already at less than 25% HP. Exactly 420. Nice. Okay, anti-armor missiles covers the army in red.
Yeah, we see what we were talking about. Joe's Banshees in the air, and then Shadow needed to utilize a scan there to reveal the Banshees. I mean, it's not that they need the extra advantage, but yeah, props to Joe, who we know loves Banshees. He found a way to squeeze them into this game.
He's on 3 gas, so I think he's just doing whatever at this point. He's like, oh yeah, I know we won. So it feels like a little bit like he's styling now. He's must be feeling really good right now.
Man, after some really close gamings in the
wait, this is gonna
round,
be it. Yeah,
GG.
So many Marauders.
We're having 3 zeros here now. Yesterday and now here, and yeah. GG, well played to team Sleepy Pajamas, Pyjama Warriors. What's their name? Pyjama Warriors.